Birthdays have always been so meaningful to me because it means that we made it through another year of life. And just the joy of being alive, the ability to become 1% better every single day is something that I'm truly so grateful for. As an annual reflection practice, I make sure to sit down and take time to think about all the accomplishments this year, the lessons I've learned, and the failures and moments that have been impactful for me. And 27 has been by far the most monumental year that I have experienced in life. So here are 12 lessons that I've learned in the past 12 months. Lesson number 1, surrender. We often believe that controlling every single outcome keeps us safe, but in reality, it holds us back. This year, surrendering control and practicing faith has taught me that trust is a muscle that can be strengthened over time. And I've really learned to trust myself this year. Going through my job search, I personally tried to control when I would get a job, where I would get a job, how it would happen. And obviously things did not go according to plan, and they never do. When I leaned into trusting that I am more than capable for the role and that they would be lucky to have me, that's when it happened so effortlessly. What is meant for you will find you. You just need to show up in the energy that already has it and trust that you already have it. Lesson number 2, ego. We think that protecting our ego shields us, but in reality, it blinds us from growth. I heard on a podcast this year this quote, and it has stuck with me ever since. And it is, whatever it is that you want is on the other side of your ego. So if you are just willing to admit that is what you want, then you are 10 times more capable of getting that. Where I have really let go of my ego this year is the need to be right in my relationship, the need to be perfect in my career and my work. Love is light, ego is shadow. Notice where your ego is blocking you and gently challenge it to move forward. Lesson number 3, healing. We expect external changes, but forget that healing starts from within. Doing deep inner work this year has shown me that your inner reflects outward. And when you heal the inside of you, you begin to just beam. And I read this book this year. It's called How to Be an Adult in a Relationship. It talks about the 5 keys to mindful loving. That is acceptance, appreciation, allowing, affection, and attention. And whatever you lacked when you were growing up as a child is normally what you look for in a partner, or what you may be unable to bring to a relationship. As an example, for me, a big one was allowing. I wasn't really allowed to be myself and say certain things that would upset my parents. And then I craved that in a partner, and that's what I found in Peter. Is like, he lets me truly just be myself, say whatever it is that I have on my mind, and accepts me as I am, which is truly so beautiful, right? But I also needed to learn to do the same for myself and allow myself to be myself around other people and not feel like I can only be myself around him, because then I'm not living in my true authentic self if I can't do that. I've allowed myself to speak freely on the things that I feel strongly on. I've allowed myself to have the desires that I have and not feel guilty about it. Lesson number 5, pace. We want fast progress, but sustainable growth comes from slow and steady wins. I realized this year that habits compound over time, similar to money, and patience allows you to build that foundation for lasting change. not just temporary change. I used to try to start 10 habits at a time, and that never worked out. I would slowly fall off those habits. What I've done this year is I start with one habit and do that until it becomes an automatic habit, and then I start to build another one. It's a slower progress, but it's been automatic for me. Lesson number 6. This one is truly dear to my heart, and this is authenticity. We often try to fit the molds made by others, but our true power comes from being our true self. Very powerful quote I heard on Modern Wisdom is that if you do not show up in the world as yourself, then the world that you create will not be for you. You will be living in a world that you will always feel like you don't belong. And I never felt like I belonged growing up. My parents ended up getting divorced, and I moved to a very small town where there were no Asian people. And for a very long time, I got made fun of a lot and wanted nothing other than to not be Asian. When I moved away to college, I joined the Vietnamese Student Association, and there I truly felt like home again and learned to be proud of who I am, where I came from, where my parents came from, and our culture that I was honestly ashamed of before. When I got into the tech industry, I found myself doing this once again. I'm definitely someone who loves to look good, feel good. When I would walk into tech conferences, I'd be like the most dressed up person there, and people looked at me funny, not gonna lie. And then there were also people that were super, super nice. It's more of a personal thing, but I felt out of place there, like I didn't belong. And coming from a non-traditional background where I didn't have a degree, all I wanted to do was fit in. But what I've really learned is that my unique self is what makes me so unique. And me failing to be who I am allows me not to meet the people who love me for me. Yeah, now I'm like so happy with the life that I'm building because I have all these amazing people in my life that, again, love me for me. Ask yourself, what parts of me have I hidden that deserve to be expressed? Lesson number 7, discipline. We think that discipline is restrictive, but it actually creates freedom. When you are a disciplined person, you are free. When you are undisciplined, you are essentially a slave to your mind. Building discipline gave me control over my mind and allowed me to live intentionally. Atomic Habits is a really good book. Being disciplined about the habits that you want to build allows you to become automatic in those habits, to where you can free up that mental cognitive load on your brain. It doesn't have to think about what it is that you want to do anymore. Your body responds before your mind. I have really locked in this year to my habits, and I have never felt more free. I have the creativity that I have been begging for the past couple of years. I could not think before, because in the back of my head was, I need to do this and I need to do that, and that's where my brain power was going. It wasn't able to have this freedom in my mind, to be creative and think of new things, think of the impossible and dream. Start small. What is one small disciplined act that you can do today that your future self will thank you for? Lesson number 8, femininity. We sometimes undervalue softness, but leaning into femininity can actually be a source of strength. Embracing my feminine energy this year really helped me find balance and vulnerability. It helped me open up and share with people when I needed help and to actually ask for the help. Masculine energy is trying to do everything on your own, which comes from ego. I am such an ambitious person, but if I don't balance that out, then I can find myself just going nonstop, and that's not healthy. I've really had to let go of this masculine energy of being self-reliant, meaning that I could not rely on anyone, or at least that's what I thought, and really lean into the surrendering and trusting to rely on someone else to be there to support me. Be accepting and open to receiving, being open to things can come easy for me. Consider how embracing softness can actually help you connect more with the people that you love. Okay, we're back. I ran out of storage and had to go delete a bunch of stuff on my phone. I found this 25-minute video of me and Peter working out in Mexico. Lesson number 9, identity. The standards we hold ourselves to reveal to the world our true identity. And identity is something that I struggled with for a long time, trying to figure out what my identity was. I mentioned discipline earlier, and the reason why that's so important is when you are disciplined to do the habits that your future self will thank you for, you start to become whatever it is that habit is. So your habits are what you do, and they shape who you become in the process. Sticking to discipline, you will become someone who is disciplined. Going to the gym every day, you become someone who is fit and in shape. Building the habit of eating nutritious food that fuels your body, you become someone who is healthy. When you read, you become a reader. When you swim, you become a swimmer. So we're not just doing these habits to do them, it's to become someone in the process, and the collection of the things that you do is who you become and your identity. This took me 27 years to figure out. In order to become someone you've never been, you need to do things that you've never done. What new standards can you adopt today to create the identity you aspire to? I personally aspire to be a woman who is ambitious, kind, aligned with her goals, and living a life of purpose. Lesson number 10, imperfection. We chase imperfection, but this only limits our true potential. There is so much beauty in imperfection. One of my goals this year was to break up with perfection. Perfection made sure that I never got things done because I wanted things to be perfect, but perfect really does not matter. What matters more is doing. Less thinking, more action. I love wabi-sabi. It's a Japanese principle that really outlines the beauty of imperfections in life, in art, in nature. That's what my home is designed around. I made a commitment to myself to break up with imperfection, and I'm so proud of myself for putting myself out there, doing less thinking in my head and just getting out, doing more. That's something that I struggled with for a very long time, and I've learned this year through healing that it was rooted in my childhood, being part of the gifted and talented. As a young kid, you're forced to think that you can't really fail. Everything needs to be done perfect. You need to stay at the top, and you're not allowed to fall or not be perfect. I really healed from that, and it's been so freeing. I've been putting myself out there more online and showing up when I feel like things aren't perfect. I feel like they're honestly a little messy, but that allows others to see me for who I really am and my wholeness. I want you to notice where perfectionism holds you back and try releasing one unrealistic standard. Lesson 11, abundance. We often live in a scarcity mindset, but abundance is a choice and a perspective. Shifting from lack to abundance has really changed the way I see opportunities all around me. This has touched my life in so many ways this year, from going through the job search and realizing that there is an abundance of roles and jobs out there. They're just waiting for you to find them. You're not in competition with anyone else. You're just looking for the right opportunity. And in money, especially coming from always being in survival mode, I had to really switch my brain. There is so much out there that is just waiting for you to be ready to be that person that can grab it, trust that it's fully yours, and surrender to the opportunities that are out there for you. The other form of abundance that I'm so grateful for is the abundance of love. There's so much love in my life right now, and sometimes I feel a little like, is it too good to be true? And I just have to hold on to the feeling and trust that there is an abundance of love out there for me, and I don't need to do anything to deserve it. I deserve it. I am worthy of everything, and just be open to receiving. Try to look for abundance in one area of your life today and express gratitude for it. Last but definitely not least is number 12, duality. Oh man, this one hit hard. Okay, we think we have to be one way or another, but life is full of duality. And what this means is you can be soft and strong at the same time. You can be ambitious and be someone who takes breaks. You can be successful and still fail. When I reflected back on my career, specifically my startup experience, I felt like such a failure that the startup failed. The truth is, like, the startup failed, but I still did a good job. Those feelings can live in coexistence with one another. Having that realization really helped me this year. Allow yourself to have contrasting qualities without the judgment, especially on yourself. It's part of the wholeness. Those are the 12 lessons that really made an impact on my life this year. Most of these lessons I've learned from podcasts like Modern Wisdom, Claim Your Power, Aspire by Emma Grede, the Mel Robbins, Jay Shetty, and just through experiencing life, having a wonderful partner to talk to. Peter is constantly pushing me to think and open my narratives, and he's also expanding his knowledge on a consistent basis, and together, like, it's so beautiful having this partnership to bounce off of. And not just him, but like my friends, they're always there for me to support me and challenge my thinking, and I'm so grateful. I've dreamt of having this kind of friendship and partnership, relationship, familyship for such a long time in my life. And when I truly looked inward at myself, healed parts of me, I was able to open up my perspective to those people so much better. Your inner really does reflect outwards. I really hope that these lessons resonate with you too, and hopefully you can use some of them in your own life. Please subscribe and drop in the comments on what you'd like to see from me, because honestly I have so many ideas, but if there's something specific that you need help on, or that you're looking for, or just in general, yeah, drop a comment, and I'll see you next time. We will see you next time. And if you want to like the video too, that would be super helpful, and share it to someone who might want to hear. I will link all the podcasts, all my favorite podcasts, in the description, and yeah, see you next time.